Hey Crafty friends, I'm back with the process video. This is for the Hip Kit Club design team, and this is my first project using the super yummy October kits. I was super excited to see how much whimsical was in the October kits because I've been seeing the sneaks that Paige was showing on her Instagram of her new collection. And when I saw the images Kimberly released of the October kits and how much whimsical was in there, I was super enthused. So my assignment this week is using the sketch, and the sketch this week it's actually really fun. When I first looked at it, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. But once I started playing with this layout, I actually really had a lot of fun playing with the sketch. So the sketch has some like layered rectangle-y elements along the top and the bottom of the layout, and then the main focus of the layout are these two large rectangles kind of layered over each other, and then it has like wordy bits, and it's really involved, and so I had a lot of fun playing with it. My other assignment was the All About You theme, and so I decided to scrap these photos of Tracy and I. Now Tracy is Scrappy Like a Fox on Instagram, and if you aren't following her, you probably should be. She's amazing. But I decided to scrap these photos of us because I identify as a memory keeper. Being a memory keeper is a huge part of my identity, and I had these super fun photos of Tracy and I, and the colors worked perfectly with what I wanted to do with this layout, and so those are the photos I'm scrapping. So now you see what I'm arranging to kind of go with the elements of the sketch. Instead of going with like regular rectangle-y bits of paper, I decided to fussy cut some hexagons. And the main kits this month, as well as the paper add-on, are full of whimsical papers. And I love this hexagon paper so much. And so I was like, I'm going to cut bits and pieces of it out. The other reason I chose to do this was not just for the interesting shape, but for all the colors that you get, because the hexagon paper is full of color. And so I'm working on this. And now I decide to add some mixed media to the background. This wouldn't be a Tashi layout if I didn't manage to make a huge mess. And so I decided to add some mixed media. The pink that I'm putting down is called Pop Art Pink, and that is I think it's a Vibes, don't quote me, but it was in the October color kit. The color kit this month came with a spray ink as well as a shimmers, like the pot ink in Sunflower, and then there's like a tealy blue color that's a creamies. And I'm loving the color kits. I'm loving like building my stash of shimmers, and I love that the color kits give you like a good variety of color, and they match with the kit so well. The other good thing about the color kits is you don't actually run out of one ink like just 1 month. And so you can really build up a stash, especially if you want to approach mixed media. This is a really good way of getting into it because they're, nicely coordinated color families that you can build. And so the yellow that I used was from last month's color kit. That's called Mustard Seed. And the blue is from, again, don't quote me, I believe August color kit, and it's called, Blew Me Down. And now here I am making a giant mess. There was a bit of a splatter problem. I'm not very good at the ink splatter. I totally applaud people who do this and do this well. I don't always succeed at it, but so now I'm adding some yellow splatters. I had some pink splatters. I pretty much just matched the splatter up with the color that I had, smushed down. I call it the smushing. Some people call it the packaging technique. It's pretty much you just spray some ink on a piece of packaging or acetate or plastic and smush it into your background. And I love the way like the colors blend together, the pink and the yellow and the blue. I like the way they blend together. Now I add some ink splatter and I pull out my Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine because, again, this isn't a me layout if there isn't some sort of shiny element. And the whimsical collection has a lot of foil to it. There's copper foil, if I'm not mistaken. And so I figured adding a bit of metallic would go a long way. So I hid this with my heat tool, and off camera I also did some stitching. I glued down my hexagon-y bits, and then I used some gold thread to stitch down on either side just to give a little bit of texture. And I really like the way that looks. I just rearranged my hexagons the way I had it set up, the first time, and stuck them down and then sewed them down, and now so this is what the sketch looks like pretty much. You have those rectangular elements across the top, rectangular elements across the bottom, and then two huge, whether it was a photo or a journaling spot. I just printed the same photo twice, once in black and white, because that's what I do when I want to use multiple photos on a layout and I don't have multiple photos that go together. I just print one in black and white. I think it works. So I pulled out some Project Life cards from the Project Life kit. I'm currently not doing Project Life right now, but these journaling cards make great layers. And so, especially since there's that hexagon card, it's like, it was kind of serendipitous. Mind you, I opened this pack of cards while I was halfway through this layout, and I was just like super excited when I saw there was a hexagon card. I was like, it was almost like it was made for this page. So the sketch has a lot of layers behind the main rectangle elements in the middle of the page. And so instead of using pattern paper, I figured I would use up some of these Project Life cards because otherwise they would sit in my stash. So if you do get the Project Life kit and you're not sure what to do with your leftover cards, use them as photo layers and photo mats. They work perfectly, especially since they're like average photo size. Most people are either printing out their photos 4x6 or 3x4, or even if you do like an occasional square one, you can always trim down the cards so they work perfectly. Now I went into my box of Hip Kit goodies and I pulled out all the embellishments that I want to use, and I pulled out more that I actually do end up using. The problem with the first layout with these kits is there's so much stuff that you're just like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I want to put it all on the page and I can't. Oh, here's where I fight a little bit with my guillotine. I love that thing, but it has not been behaving recently. I'm not sure why it's upset with me. So I just pull out my paper trimmer and I trim that down. And there we go. There's my main photo on the hexagon paper. And then I put my black and white photo on this grid one. And I wanted to pick mats that have a lot of color in them because there's a lot of color in this layout. And I figured, why not go for it? And then I realized I want to put another layer behind those photos. So I go to the 3x4 cards and I pull out some that I think would work. So there's that yellow one that has flowers on it, and the other one, I think, if I remember correctly, is a light pink dot. And again, it's just another layer. And I kind of like purposefully put it down a little bit like wonky and a little bit askew. Just because, again, if you see the sketch, they're not perfect layers. They're all kind of like jagged and staggered. And again, that's what I like. I like messy layouts and I like messy layers. One of these days I will do a proper grid layout. But I typically go for things that look a little bit messy. That's just my aesthetic. So I was very happy with the layers that are kind of placed a little bit askew on the page. So those floral bits, my husband is the real MVP. He did most of the fussy cutting this layout for me. He was actually cutting them out while I was scrapbooking. I was like, take this paper and cut these floral pieces out. So he's a winner. He cut those two floral pieces out for me. Those are from another whimsical paper. It had these huge blooms. And I just picked out ones that were close to the edge of the page because I knew that I was tucking it behind a photo. So I didn't need one of the like giant ones. I just needed one that had little bits of flowers that would stick out behind my photo. And then I looked again at the sketch and I realized that it had some elements that just said words over and over. And I was like, there's a pattern paper that has words on it in the kit. And so this is also a whimsical paper and it just has banners with different crafty sayings on it. And I thought that would be perfect to add to my layout. So I fuss around and I cut out one of them. And then I go over to the husband and he ends up cutting out the rest of them for me. So I've officially committed and stuck down my first photo. And now I'm putting the big floral piece behind it, and that's what my top layer is going to be like. That one I did not put on foam. You'll see that I put the bottom photo on foam, and that's just to give the layout a little bit more dimension so it's not one flat piece, especially since I didn't actually use anything that dimensional on this layout. I kind of just used cardstock, and actually I used a bit of puffy stickers, but I used mostly cardstock. So I chose to put my main color element on foam to kind of prop it up off the page. Now, this was probably the thing I was excited the most for, which again, you'll hear me say maybe 3 or 4 more times, but I think, honestly, this is what I was excited the most for in this kit. I love florals. If you've been hanging out with me on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube for any extended amount of time, you will know that I love florals. It's part of the reason why I'm obsessed with Maggie Holmes. And so for Paige Evans to release a whole pack of just flowers just made me so happy. And then for them to be in rainbow, just like my like rainbow loving heart was just like dancing. So when Kimberly put these in the kits, I like literally, I was the most excited person. So now I'm just tucking them behind my photo cluster. I have my two photos put together kind of the way I want them to be arranged. The top photo is covering a lot of the bottom one, but that's okay because they're the same picture. So you just kind of see our faces right now. So now I'm gluing down my flowers, and I use a variety of the flowers. I use some color flowers, and I also use some of the foil flower and leaf elements just to carry in that metallic. And now that I'm looking at it, I wish I had added like maybe some orange or something, because it looks very like blue and green. But I'm still happy with the overall effect. So I put some flowers on top of my top photo so that they're going to peek out from behind when I put my bottom photo down, if that makes any sense. I do like that when you have little elements peeking out from behind versus everything being in the foreground. Like I like having elements in the background also. I think that adds some dimension and some interest to the page. So now I'm adding some more leaves and gluing everything down. I'm sorry if I sound nasal. I'm still getting over this like gnarly cold. And then it's fall, really fall here in New York City. And so my allergies have been acting up like no one's business. And I've just been a nasally mess. So I'm so sorry if my voice is off-putting, but I gotta get these projects done. So now I've stuck down my bottom layer, and I've been using this double-sided tape that I got on Amazon because it was really, really cheap and really good quality. If I can find the link to it, I'll put the link in the description box, but I got like 6 rolls of it almost for, if I remember correctly, I think I got 6 rolls of it for like $10. It's a great price. So I'll try to remember to put a link to it in the description. So now I arranged those banners. I had originally fussy cut 5 of them, and then I decided I wanted a 6th one so I could do 3 clusters of 2. And again, they all have phrases related to being creative and being happy, and I liked it because they were in colors that matched. I liked the whimsical. See what I did there? I like the whimsical banners. They're all kind of like funky looking. They're not perfectly straight with like perfect edges. They're all kind of jagged and funny looking, so I like that a lot. That was a little bit of a happy dance. I'm not sure if you saw that, but I ended up doing several happy dances while I was making this layout because I was so excited and so happy with what was happening here. This is one of those layouts that like kind of everything worked. I don't know if you've ever had projects like that. I've had projects where the exact opposite happened, where nothing worked and you ended up throwing it in the garbage. But this is one of those layouts where like everything worked. Everything I picked up was just like, yes, put it on the page. And then I picked up something else and it was like, yes, put that on the page. So I'm really, really happy with this, especially since the sketch kind of threw me for a little bit. I looked at it and I was like, I have no idea what I am doing. And then I started making the layout and I was super happy. So now I'm working on my title, and I decided I wanted to use all the alphas that are in the kit. Those coral alphas are a Hip Kit Club exclusive, and they're just this fun font, and they're in this bright coral color. And then the kits also included the Maggie Holmes Willow Lane gold and white chipboard alpha, and then the whimsical tiny foam letters. And the Pink Paisley line has been releasing those tiny foam letters, and I am obsessed with them. I have them in like the white and the navy pack, and I think those were from Pick Me Up. And then when they did Auburn Lane, they released a gold and a rose gold, like coppery one, and I just like died. So now I have a rainbow one, and my life is complete. So my title is Two Crafty Foxes, and it was kind of a play off of Tracy's last name. Her name is Tracy Fox, which is like the best last name in the world, but I decided to play off of her name and go with that. So I use every alpha pack in the kit to spell out my title, and then I pulled out these puffy stickers and I saw that there were banners, and I was like, you know what this layout needs? More banners. And so I added more banners to it, and then I pull out the enamel shapes, and I add a butterfly and some paint splatters, and I call this layout good. So they're going to be still photos after the break, so you can see some close-ups. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more projects. And again, don't forget to check out the Hip Kit Club site so you can grab a kit of your own. These kits are amazing. I'm slowly and deeply falling in love with them, and I can't wait to make more projects with the October kits. And again, there's like the Project Life kit, there's an embellishment kit, there's a main kits, there's so much to choose from. So don't forget to head to the Hip Kit Club site to get one of your own. As always, friends, keep it crafty and have a great day.